Hey everybody, Diggs here. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Today we are going to be talking about 9S. He is the amazing lightning spear wielder, which we are going to be getting for free in the upcoming Near collaboration. Let's go ahead and dig in. For any of you guys that are out there right now who are psyched for the Near collaboration, I will be doing polls on stream tonight at Reset, so I hope to see you guys during the maintenance. Come hang out with us and come get some vibes. 9S is going to be an incredible unit and is one of the most highly rated units in JP, very similar to 2B, and he's given for free. 9S is one of those units I think, like Titus, you should be leveling no matter what. Now, 9S does come as his primary job, 9S, and then he also gets Nightblade and Viking Sub, which we will be getting into as well, because you know that means he gets Drain Rush. Now, his TMR, the Yorha Combat Uniform, does come with Defense 10, Critical Evade 12, and it does come with some HP on it as well, which is not the worst in the world. Grants regen 10% to himself and units around himself. It does nullify sleep, confusion, and charm, which whenever you're nullifying charm or confusion, it's not the worst piece of gear in the world. It doesn't have agility on it. The ability's not incredible, but you might find a niche use for it, or when you need it, you're going to be happy that you have it. Taking a look at his mastery ability, exactly what you would expect: increase HP for lightning allies, increase lightning attack 15 for lightning allies. We are of course going to get increased defense 10 for himself too. He comes with 10% weakness to earth, 20% resistance to water. Also, his resistances are really nice. We're looking at 10% slash resistance, 20% pierce resistance, 5% missile resistance, and only 10% weak to magic. So there's a lot going on here that is really good. He also comes with a native 10% confusion resistance, 50% disable resistance, so Dwayne, watch out. And of course, we have 50% slow resistance as well. Taking a look at his base stats, with his EX form, he is going to have 3,684 HP, which is a little bit more than 2B. He has attack 493, which is a little less than 2B, and his agility is in at 60, so he's not the fastest unit in the world, but he is pretty fast. Now, his TMR self-hacking is going to increase defense penetration 40 for 3 turns to self, and it's going to deal 200% modified damage to the opponent. Do I think this is amazing? I mean, defense penetration is always situational. It's not universal in my mind. If this were like defense minus 30 or something, then yes, this would be incredible. But it's defense penetration, which always relies on your opponent having defense, which in a world where there's so many units with spirit resistance for Yuna and such, I'm not sure the viability of this, but I'm sure we will have situations where it is used. Looking at his support kit and his counter kit, his unique support ability is going to upgrade stun hacking, which I'm actually not sure what that is. It says it's going to upgrade the skill, so we'll probably get to that in the next screen. His Nightblade is going to give increased attack 30%, accuracy 25, evasion minus 10. His other ability for his unique job is going to give clock up, which is agility 12%, move 1, which is really powerful and always useful, and when it's on a spear wielder can quite often end up deadly. Viking tips is going to be HP 12%, attack 24%, and then he also has arrow shield, which will be 15% missile resistance. I'm betting you're probably going to be using clock up and potentially either the Nightblade passive, maybe in some situations the stun hacking upgrade. We'll just have to wait and see. He does have the same counter ability though as 2B, which is a physical reflex that procs 15% of the time. So for any of you who are getting hit by physical attacks that want like a physical reflex, I would definitely set this. He also has access to the Nightblade counter swing. He also has access to uplifting fighting spirit, which increases HP and gives berserk, which you do not want. Coming over to his main kit, let's first go down to see what the upgraded version of stun hack is from that passive. So hacking is basically going to give attack minus 43%, minus 43% magic for the opponent, and deal 200% damage and has quite the range. But stun hack is also going to have a 25% chance to inflict stun for 1 turn to the target. Do I think you're going to be setting this? Maybe. It'll definitely be interesting. I could see this being utilized because I think a lot of units don't have resistance to stun. we'll have to wait and see. I can see this being really annoying, right? Because of course you want to lower your opponent's attack and magic by 43%. That's huge. We'll have to wait and see. Straight Shot, his primary ability is just 121% damage attack. He has shield deployment, which when upgraded, gives defense 15, spirit 15, and grants protect, which is a 25% reduced physical damage on your allies. Rotating Spear is a very powerful attack. It is a 4-square cross attack that can attack at 3 range, essentially 4 range, right? Because it gets that additional square because it's a cross attack. And it is going to cancel ability activation, very similar to like what Jamming Thrust would do. I think this is going to see use. This is really powerful. I just see this being used. This is amazing. We also have the upgraded version of that, which is also going to lower 20% of your opponent's agility when it lands. Like, this is just like, I'm just gonna fucking wreck you, right? Like, 9S is gonna come in and decrease all of your stats is what it's looking like. He has Assault Field, which is going to increase 40% attack and 40 accuracy for 3 turns to your allies. 9S is like that unit that I was told was really good. And then when I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my god, everybody's going to get this unit for free. This is disgusting. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. We also have Straight Line Shooting, which is going to decrease pierce resistance 25% for 3 turns to target, and is a pierce attack as well. So this is very similar to Kane's attack that is going to decrease pierce resistance. Some interesting things as well here that I noticed is that Stun Hacking is a 200% damage attack with a chance to stun, decrease magic, decrease attack, but it's also a typeless attack type. So it's only a Thunder Elemental damage ability, which is very interesting because that means it's not going to be resisted, very similar to like Huton and Suiton from the ninja abilities, Katon, all of those. So we might see that being used a lot because of resistances that opponents might have. It's definitely something to think about there as well. His sub makes him even better because he has access to double spear thrust, which is a 2-hit 128% modifier spear attack. So if we're ever going into a lightning raid, you are going to want to have 9S with you. He also has target scan, which decreases defense for 25 for 3 turns and also decreases agility 25% for 3 turns. This is disgusting. Like, look at the range on that shit. That shit is so far reaching. Like, oh my god, I can already see 9S being the unit that I hate, like more than Ayaka, with the amount of status resistance downs that he does have. You can also see him being universally useful in raids coming up, right? Because target scan, decreasing defense, decreasing agility, that's 2 things you want in one, right? Like, that's amazing. Coming into his other sub jobs. Now, I think this is interesting because both of his sub jobs have access to slash attacks, right? And both of them have access to some really powerful abilities, right? So you could probably get away with any single sub job on 9S, and I think you're actually going to be seeing the sub Nightblade and some Viking subs being utilized because of the prevalence of Aigaon, right, and Sid. You're going to be using a Gaion in your compositions with lightning units, so you're probably going to be getting some buffs to 9S's slash attack, and you're also going to be getting the lightning buff from his spear, which is also going to be giving lightning up on it, which just makes him even more powerful, right? And so I think he's very similar to 9S, where he is going to have, you know, this situation where he can do a variety of attacks, he can do a variety of damage, and he's going to be incredible, right? Let's go ahead and, you know, you've seen all these abilities. Just the highlights, right, for Nightblade is going to be Drain Rush, which is going to absorb 30% of the damage done, which is also a 3-hit lightning slash attack for chaining, right? Not only that, he also gets access to Double Resist, which is Pierce and Missile Resist 25% for 3 turns. He gets access to Stun Blade. On his Viking sub, what's probably really important is his ability to use both Killing Axe, which gives Human Killer 25%, but also Tomahawk, which has a 35% enhanced chance to critical hit rate. If you're running units that are running critical hit rate, right, and he is a spear unit, so spear units have a lot of access to critical hit rate a lot of the time, you may be putting him in some type of critical build party, particularly with Tidus, right, or not Tidus, Cloud, who's coming out, right, because Cloud has that ability to grant extra AP on critical hits. So maybe having him with Cloud on Sub Viking to utilize the 35% enhanced critical hit chance from Tomahawk would actually be a really good idea. Now, let's talk about his spear. His spear is really powerful. It's called Cruel Arrogance, and it does give lightning attack 30, and it also gives pierce attack 15. So it is not only the best spear for 9S, it is also the best spear for Ahlim, and we will probably see a power spike to Ahlim with this spear, and I could see kind of like a lightning composition running for a little bit with like Ahlim, Sid, and 9S, because you have pretty much all of the lightning buffs. We also have the Coral VC coming out in the near future, which is going to give party-wide lightning attack buff and the Coral Esper. So we have all of that coming. The spear is going to have access to both assault and critical. Critical only has 17 critical hit rate. The aim does have 17 accuracy, but the attack is so low on it. My general recommendation is probably going to be assault for this spear, but I can't ignore the potential for a critical hit rate meta in the future. And I think you would be best served by getting the critical hit rate version of this spear to kind of future-proof your builds for your lightning units to be run with Cloud. Now, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about Espers. Let's talk about vision cards. Espers right now, if we don't get Coral anytime soon, you're going to want to put Ifrit on just because he's the only real 3-star spear Esper currently. So increase attack, increase pierce attack. You're going to get some extra resistances. You're not going to get the lightning attack up, but that's okay. When Coral does come out, Coral's probably going to be the best in slot Esper for 9S. I would definitely be running with him on that. In terms of vision cards, like I said, you're going to be running him a lot, probably with Sid, right? Or potentially with Cloud as well. So that means you're going to be using the Igaion VC, which is going to increase HP 25%. But again, that accuracy and slash attack from the party-wide ability is going to buff up his sub-ability power level. So you really have to consider, you know, it might be worth it subbing Viking or Nightblade just to have access to those slash attacks as well to make him a little bit more powerful in that regard. Coral is going to be the VC that comes out as well. It is an MR VC, but it does give lightning attack up. It's very similar to the Snow Icebird that came out as well for Blizzard units. So keep that in mind. Tonberry. Now, Tonberry is not a big deal Esper right now. A lot of people don't think about Tonberry. They're like, Tonberry's not interesting, not good. But I found it interesting that Tonberry does give fire resistance 15%. Tonberry also gives magic resistance 15%. So when you're thinking about the future, when you're thinking about King Mont coming out, that fire resistance, if you are running a lightning composition, could be really powerful. And so I did want to throw Tonberry in here just as like a think about this, right? Keep it in your mind. This could potentially be really good if you are going to be running a mono lightning team, particularly if you're thinking of featuring like Ahlim and Sid. Maybe you're going to run Nivlu, Sid, and, you know, 9S. There's a whole bunch of variety of compositions you could run, and I just want you to keep it in mind. All right, everybody, we are at the end of the video. As always, if you do want to support me, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins, whenever you are purchasing Amazon coins in order to make your purchases for the game. You can always swing by our Discord. Make sure you come by stream tonight. I am going to be doing polls tonight. I know maintenance is super boring, so we'll probably be playing some other games during maintenance as well. Keep you guys entertained. And then we'll be doing our big polls at midnight. As always, everybody, have a great day, and I hope to see you guys next time.